Hits for the pound.
Yeah, this is how we do it in the Central Colors, man. We got 40 ounces, Old English, rag tops, 6'4" Impalas, and bikini girls, man. This is how we do it on the West Coast. San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. But don't forget about the Central Cali, man. Please don't forget about the Central Cali. Yeah, get 'em.
It's another sunny day in the state of California. Low rider palm trees and G's that put it on ya. This ain't a negative, we speaking ebonics. Rank talk, candy paint on D's with hydraulics. Baseball hat with the sticker on the brim. Don't let the sun blind your sight, cause things can get grim. But I'm not here to talk about banana clips and guns. We're going back to Cali and we're gonna have some fun. A West Coast domination.
Welcome back to Two Face Cemetery Podcast. I am your host, Fred Segura, out here in Monterey County, also known to the world as the Salad Bowl, also known as the Salinas Valley. To the people in LA, we are north. To the people in San Francisco, we are south. Right smack in the middle, best of both worlds. Don't forget about the Central Cali. Anyway, folks, today we are going to talk about belief and faith, right? I'm not going to get into details, guys, about religion, if you will. This is a very touchy subject because people say, well, I don't believe it, say religion, and it really depends on who you talk to when they say, well, I believe there is one God. I believe in this, but I believe there's one God. It really depends on who you're talking to that will tell you will tell you that. But for the sake of argument, for the sake of trying to figure it all out, guys, we're going to put it on to a lump sum. In other words, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So therefore, we're going to continue. First and foremost, let me allow myself to tell you guys that I am not fully knowledgeable on the Bible. I do know the verses. I do know some things out of it. Am I fully knowledgeable? I can't tell you, oh, turn to Matthew, whatever, turn to Luke this, turn to Revelation this. I'm not that guy, right? Do I know some things? Do I believe in things? I know a few things. Yeah, I do. So, but let's not get into what I believe in, right? But let's just get into this. So, the thing about it is that people say, well, I walk in faith and I believe in faith and prayer or the power of prayer. I see that a lot on social media, right? And people say, oh, the power of prayer, and if this and this and this and that, right? The unfortunate part is that what happens is when you get into a very, say for example, maybe a dark time in your life or whatever the situation is, or you feel like you have no way out, or you're trying to seek an answer, and you pretty much are prayed out, and things are not happening fast enough. This is where the problem starts sometimes. If you happen to run across I don't know if you call them that now, fortune teller, medium, I don't know what you call them, but you guys know what I mean. And no, I don't mean like Cleo, or maybe I might mean like Cleo. Those of you from the 90s know what I'm talking about with Cleo. But if you don't, Google it. You'll see. Google it from the 90s. Cleo, fortune teller. Anyways, guys, we had them even back then when they, excuse me, when they would be, you could even have them on the phone, right? But anyhow, so what happens is when these people go to these, and I'm going to say it just like that, I would just say it, when these people go to fortune tellers, they start to really depend on them, And that's the bad part, because at that point you are not living in you no longer believe, and you no longer have faith. You can say you do, but you don't, because you basically are going behind, and I'll say it, if you're a believer, you're going behind God's back and trying to find out the answers rather than let him handle it, and go into the sense of God will never give you nothing you cannot handle. Right. So therefore, at that point, you're already in the wrong, if you believe, right? So from there, it just becomes an issue. The problem starts where where you continue to keep going back, continue to keep going back, continue to keep going back, and you're paying these people. And some of them may say, hey, you know what, they give you a freebie or whatever, but that's just another lure to keep you going back, right? What happens is, the problem starts where these people, and I've dealt with it, with not myself, but I've seen it in other people, and they start to live a paranoid life. Oh, the fortune teller told me this was going to happen. You know, when they read my palm or they read the cards and stuff, they told me this was going to happen. That's where the problem begins. Because now you're dependent on that, and you're not living your life no more. Everything's on the caution because you're trying to watch every little single move you make because you don't want anything to happen that was going to happen, right? Hence, they said, oh, they told me that it was these two individuals, a taller one and a shorter one, and they're out to get me and all this other stuff, and you point the finger at the people over here, when in reality the taller and shorter one is sitting right in front of you, and they're your best friends that you're listening to with all the gossip. That's the difference, right? That have the bad intentions for you to begin with. But hey, that's just the way it goes, right? Yeah, and I know there's people who read cards, and there's people who have the right intentions, and so on and so forth. I get it. I'm not knocking anybody for that, guys. I'm just saying that it can be a bad thing when you grow dependent on it. And be careful what you say, though. If you say you believe, then you fully believe. Don't say you believe and then you go around God's back and you're trying to do something else, because you're not waiting for him, her, or whatever God you believe in to handle it, right? I I had a situation one time. I was walking somewhere. This is years ago. I was walking along a busy street. A couple of my friends and I were walking up along a busy street. This was back in the day, and had a palm reader or whatever the situation was, right, lit up, going out the street, and the person was outside, and she points at me. She says, "Hey, you!" As I was coming up the street, she says, "You, I'll read the palm right now." She goes, "I'll read the card. I'll read the palm right now." She goes, "And I'll tell you your fortune." And I turned around, looked at her, and I said, "Hey, really?" She said, "Yeah." I go, "How much?" She goes, $20. I said, "Look, for $20, I'll be able to tell you my fortune if I ship in with you." She says, "What do you mean?" I said, and this is not a joke, this happened for real. I said, "I could tell you my own fortune right now if I ship in there with you." She goes, "What do you mean by that?" And I said, "Well," I go, "I'll be $20 less if I go in with you. So that's my fortune. So no, thank you." And I kept walking. That's just the situation, right? I was being, I was a lot younger at the time. I was being a smart aleck, if you will. But I just wasn't interested. I'll leave it at that. I'll put it to you like this. I've gone through life. I've struggled. I've seen hardships. I've felt it. I've had people turn on me bad. I've had people lie about me. I've had people turn on me and lie, really, 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 really do some terrible things, to me. One thing I learned is that you always see them coming back. When they finally fall or something happens, in that regard, you will get to see it. You will get to see it. Now, it's up to you if you want to be the bigger person and not bring it up. But between you and that other individual, you know when something bad happens to us, We sometimes say, man, why is this happening to me? We know. Think about it. You know, when things don't work out, they're usually because of bad intentions. It may work for a while. It may work for a little while. But trust me, that will not last. That will not last. Because eventually, you know, and we all, there's a saying in Spanish, no nos vamos de este mundo sin pagar las que debemos. In other words, we're not going to leave this earth without paying what we owe. And be it whatever it is, right? So with that, guys, I just leave it with that, guys. That's just it. It's to each, to his and her own, to see things how they may, right? Either you're going to believe or you're going to have step, right? Whichever way it goes. And not everything bad stays bad. Things change. And things do get better. They always do. With that, this is Two-Face Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Segura, signing out.
Haters shake the fist, suckers preaching me rolling. Why you so mad? Why you so serious? Shit in my rear view like the slow and delirious. Keep on mashing, getting plenty action. The home of the G's and pimps, I love it with a passion. Throw it up, it's California, where the sun lays to rest like every day. The home of the color rag, swap meets and bangers. Chuck Taylor's Lolos and them real dope slangers. This is reality, it's where I stay. Along the Pacific in the state of CA. Golden State, from Frisco to Compton and back to Central Cali where the party keeps rocking. It's a California state of mind, and you can't be mad, that's just how we ride. Golden State.
But it's really for me. I'm not saying that I'm greedy, but hip-hop is needy, so what the hell do you expect from me? It's the passion, I finally understand it. I'm hiding in the trees like a male praying mantis, searching for my prey. God, please come and bless me, help relieve my stress so I don't worry about death. Never said I was leaving, but dreaming on like Steven. Fallen angel, I'm Zeppelin, not ready for heaven. So please tell me, is there another way? So I can look up in the sky and say thank you for these better days.
1, 2, Vegas coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your doors. 5, 6, hip hop with a twist. 7, 8, please don't hate. 1, 2, Vegas